Okay, out here with the XP Deus II and the 13-inch coil, we just pulled open this hole. This is an old 1700s plantation, and we found tons and tons of artifacts on this site. And we just popped this hole open. Down in the hole was the front of a lock. You can see it's still got the brass keeper on the front of it. We're gonna have to look it up when we get home, but there it is. So it's the lock face with the brass keeper still on it. Really, really cool. We know that this plantation probably dates back to the mid 1700s. We found a lot of artifacts from that period, as well as the 1800s, all the way up into the Civil War. So there it is. But we have got a nice little artifact here with this brass keeper on the front of this old lock. Of course, the rest of the lock is gone, but the brass piece is still on there. So out here having a great time exploring this plantation and seeing what else we can find. Okay, we'll catch you guys real soon. What is up, guys? So glad to see you guys on a Friday night. We're back on our regular schedule and super excited to be here. And I want to give, as always, a couple of shout outs to everyone we got in the house. We got a nice crowd in here, a lot of the regulars, but we got some new faces too. So glad to have each and every one of you sniff it out. Wisco Detect, NC Relic Hunter, Damian Thorne, Prospectors Cash. Let's see who else. Chris, NC Relic Hunter, Tony Maston, James Letner. Glad to have you guys. Don't Tread on Me, Metal Detecting, LC Hunt, Alabama Digger. Glad to have you. Josh Sipes, glad to have you back in here, Josh. We hadn't seen you in a while, but we're super excited to have you back in the house with us. Josh makes an excellent lanyard that you can hook up for your pinpointer. And I'm sure he'd be glad to leave his email if you're interested in getting one. High quality product for sure. Bells is in here with us. Glad to have you, Bells. Lance, nice to see you. Glad that you got away from your ball duties tonight. So we're super excited to have you in the house. And let's see who else. Surfside Dan, glad to have you, Dan. And what you just saw, Dan, was from the lot, which you know where that is. So super excited. And I've got some pretty interesting stuff to tell you guys that I found out using a new setup on the lot. So that's coming very, very soon. Ricky Bennett, glad to have you in here as always. CM Digger, glad to have you. Making sure I get that treasure. Glad to have you in here. Get that treasure. Bobby Short, always here with us. Appreciate it, Bobby. Michael Workman's coming in from Facebook. Glad to have you, Michael. And David Moss is in the house. So, guys, it has been a fantastic week. I got to get out yesterday and do some swinging. So I want to share some of the things that I saw and some of the things I want you guys to maybe try. But we're going to talk about that as we go through the show. Joe Dirt is here. Glad to have you, Joe Dirt. And I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time tonight to come in here and be a part of our live stream. We've got the Land Pirates, David Everett Jr. Glad to have you, David. I think you're new to our live stream, but we're super excited that you decided to join us tonight. So again, we got people just popping in. Great Lakes Metal Detecting, glad to have you. Yes, we're super excited to have you in here. Thanks for being a part of the live stream tonight. And we've got a jam-packed live stream. I got so much information I want to tell you guys about. And I think some of you are going to find some things that I've talked about tonight to be really, really interesting. Don't have Michael tonight. Don't have NC Relic Hunter with me. His son's playing a ball game tonight. So unfortunately, he could not be here with me. But he's going to probably agree with everything I'm saying tonight. So, again, we'll have him back real, real soon with us. Workman's Adventure, glad to have you here. Super, super excited. Yes, and Chris is right. Please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button too, because all of that stuff helps my algorithm, helps me grow as a content creator. and helps me bring this information to you guys as well. So I'm going to be sharing a bunch of stuff tonight. And hopefully somebody walks away with something that they can take out real soon and use on their sites and have a lot of success. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing tonight. So NC Relic Hunter says he's listening from afar at the ball game. He's watching his son and listening to us at the same time. So we really appreciate NC Relic Hunter doing that. Piedmont Artifacts, glad to have you in here tonight. Thank you so much for joining our live. Again, we got a jam-packed show full of information, full of things that I hope that everybody can take out to the field and apply those things to their relic hunting, treasure hunting, whatever you're doing. Hopefully, whatever we share tonight is something that you can use and you will benefit from. So that's the whole purpose of my show and of my channel, is to help everyone, get something that they can take out and use really soon. So again, thank you all for being here tonight. We always start our show off with finds, and we're going to do that in just a second. Just a couple things that we're going to talk about tonight, just in case you guys want to know. We are going to be looking at the XP Deus II. Now, I tried some things yesterday, actually on a great site that I've been to hundreds and hundreds of times that you guys have seen me on. Again, using the XP Deus II, but in a different setup. And I can't wait to talk about that because I've got so many questions and so many things that I want to share with you guys from this last hunt. It was only about an hour hunt, but man, it was loaded with some great information and some things that I found out and sort of figured out with the XP Deus II. So I want to make sure that I share that information with you guys and get y'all, sort of thinking. And again, I hope you guys can help me out too in that aspect. Prospectors Cash, you're always so generous. Thank you so much for the donation. Again, any donations tonight go straight back into the channel. They support me. They support the things that I do, help me travel, help me buy cameras, buy all sorts of things to keep my content going, keep my live stream going, and so on. So again, thank you so much, Prospectors Cash. I really appreciate it so much. Okay, so we're going to start with our finds. As always, we always start off with the finds. I had some really interesting ones that were sent to me. And if any of you would like to send your finds to me to share in the live stream, you can always send those to my email at sransc@gmail.com. So if you've got some great things or some things that you want to share with me, please feel free to send them. I will try to get them on the live stream. I love sharing what you guys are doing. And again, when you do that, sort of tell me the situations that you found them in, what machine you were using, what it was maybe ringing up at, that kind of stuff, because that just makes it a little more interesting for the people that are seeing them whenever I show them. So again, I really appreciate you guys sharing those finds. And if you want to send it to me, again, sransc@gmail.com. I would appreciate it. And I would love to get your finds up here too. Again, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Trying to grow the channel, get us up to some more followers and some more subscribers. So please do that if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything to be a subscriber. It doesn't cost anything to be a follower. So again, I appreciate you guys so much for that. So let's look at some finds. We got some good ones too. You guys have really been out there doing a lot of work. So I want to share some of these finds. So again, these are some finds that were sent in to me. First off is David Frazier. I don't think he's in here tonight, but I want to share his finds. And David found this gold chain with a gold cross on it. And I know he was probably super excited when he found that. Now, I don't know if David found this in a park or if he found it on a beach. He didn't really tell me. But again, super fine. Wanted to share that with you guys. But it's always fun when something gold and shiny comes flying out of the ground. So congratulations to David Frazier. Again, we've got Prospectors Cash, who is on here with us tonight. So Prospectors Cash, here are those finds that you sent to me. I know he does a lot of beach hunting, a lot of diving, as well as relic hunting. And these were some great finds that he sent to me. Of course, a couple of rings. Looks like a nice coin. Prospectors Cash, if you're on here, you can tell me a little bit about the coin. I know you're on here, so maybe you can elaborate a little bit about the coin, or the medallion, or whatever this is over here on the right hand side. But super, super, super nice finds. And these were done by Prospectors Cash, who's also on here, Tom Ashworth. And we really appreciate him. Tom's been putting up some videos lately too on YouTube. So go check him out on YouTube if you haven't, if you don't know who Tom is. Super, super nice guy. Loves sharing information, loves sharing finds. And we appreciate him being a big part of our channel as well. So Prospectors Cash, congratulations on those great finds. And we really appreciate you sharing those things. So Prospectors Cash says that this is a rare Taiwan coin from 1962. He's saying that the coin is worth $55. That is so cool. I mean, I love finding sort of oddball things, the things that you really don't expect. And Tom, if I remember correctly, I think you were in Texas. Is that correct? But anyway, Tom found these, I believe, on the beach, and he shared those with me. And we're super, super excited about sharing those finds on here. And Tony Maston says, super sweet finds, Tom. And again, don't tread on me, he says, sweet, Tom. Congratulations, Prospectors Cash from Bells, and get that treasure. Says, man, that is awesome. So love sharing Tom's finds. This is from Surfside Dan, who's also on here. This was a ring that Surfside Dan got, a really cool ring. He wanted to share it with me. And of course, he's got an early flowing hair Liberty large cent there too in that picture. I don't know, Dan, you can elaborate on this. Did you find that coin and you got the ring for the coin, or I couldn't quite understand what was going on with the coin. So I'm gonna let you tell that story. But Dan got this nice, nice ring. It's a beautiful ring. That's a beautiful coin too. So yes, that is excellent for sure. Dan is a super, super, super very good metal detectorist. And Dan lives in my area. And Dan and I hunt together naturally too from time to time. And yeah, he says that ring is a choker. I don't think he found it. I think he won it, but he might have won it for the coin. So if he's listening, and I know he's on here, maybe he can explain. He can explain what it was. But he wanted to share that with me, and just a beautiful, beautiful ring there, and a nice, nice coin as well. So, Dan, if you're on here, explain that to everyone and sort of let them know what's going on. Appreciate it, LC Hunt. Thank you so much for the contribution. I appreciate you guys. You guys are just awesome. Really are. I think I've got one of the best groups on YouTube as far as live subscribers and followers. You guys just do amazing. Yeah, great saves for sure. What is the date? That coin is 180, I believe it's 1803, I think is what I see on it. It's an early one for sure. I've seen one of those dug. In fact, Calabash and I actually dug one. Yes, 1807. Dan says 1807. I won the ring for best find at the end of 2004. So that's an 1807 flowing hair, large cent, and that is a beautiful, beautiful coin, Dan. So congratulations on that find. Congratulations on that ring. That is just a beautiful, beautiful coin for sure. What I was saying is also Calabash dug one very similar to this. His was a 1798 large cent, flowing hair like that as well. So beautiful coin. Dan, congratulations. That is an awesome and amazing find for sure. Next is David Moss. So David sent me this about an hour ago, and I wanted to share what this is. Of course, it is an infantry button, but David wanted to point out that he found this button, but this button had a 10 back, and he was pointing out that the 10 back actually. Let me enlarge this. Let me share the whole screen. So David was pointing out that that 10 back made that button ring up a little bit weird, and he was trying to tell me about it. And David, if you're on here, and I know you are, if you're still on here, will you share with them what that was ringing up like, and maybe some of the numbers, if you remember what those numbers were like? So, again, it's an Eagle infantry with a 10 back on the back of it. So, yeah, get that treasure. Dan says there's nothing better than winning treasure for finding treasure. And that's so true. Get that treasure and get that treasure too. I wanted to say your channel on TikTok, and I've watched you on TikTok, is awesome. And I love watching what you find. You're doing a great, fantastic job, and keep after it, buddy, because you are doing awesome for sure. So wanted to say congratulations on the work that you're doing on some of those other social media platforms. I watch you just as much as probably you're watching me for sure, but that's good. I love your channel. So I wanted to bring that up. So if you don't follow him on some of the other social media platforms, go check him out. He does very, very well. Don't Tread on Me says, love it. I got an 1801 Drake bust dime with a 1772 one real in the same hole. Wow. That is a fantastic day right there. Just if you only found one of those would be amazing. Don't Tread on Me. So those are really, really good. Yes, get that treasure. I just wanted to give you a plug because I know how hard you're working on your channel and your followers and so on, but you do an amazing job. Thanks for sharing your content with us. David Moss is saying the rusted tin back made the button sound very different than other buttons. It was a broken signal versus the smooth sound that we are all used to with the Deus. Yeah, and of course, because that tin back will rust some, it will give off a weird sound. So I dug a block eye infantry button that did very similar to what David is saying, and we're going to be talking about some of those things too. Bell says, "Congratulations, Dan's." Or congratulations, don't tread on me. She said that is awesome. Yeah, that was a super day for sure. And don't tread on me said best spill I'll ever find. Yeah, I would say that's definitely a good spill for sure. So again, super finds, guys. Thank you so much. David Moss again wants to point out that his point was he was sharing it. Don't hesitate on digging odd sounds and tones, even the scratchy ones. And David's exactly right. David does a great job too. He's got a nice channel as well. And, you know, a 10 back is definitely going to ring up a little weird because it could rust and corrode slightly and give you sort of a funky sound to it. So David is exactly right on that. So David, again, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for reminding me too, because that's something too that I have encountered, but I haven't mentioned it, and I wanted to share your find and talk a little bit about that as well. So thank you, David, for sharing that, and I appreciate you shooting me the email. So again, so I couldn't go without at least showing one of my finds. So I found this yesterday on a site that has just been pounded, and this was the video that I just showed. David can share. David, share your channel name on here too. But anyway, this was the lock cover. It has a brass keeper on the front. That brass keeper was an Eagle. It is D&M locks, which if I've looked up this and done a little bit of research on D&M locks, and that lock was made in the 1850s and up. So it's 1850s or beyond, but it's somewhere in that range. And I actually dug this yesterday. I also dug a flat button as well that had a little bit of design on the back, and I wanted to share that as well. David Moss says no channel for me, haha. So David, I thought you had a channel, but he's saying no. But David does a great job. He sends stuff to us all the time, and we're always super excited to share his content as well. Don't Tread on Me says, I dug an early 1900s police badge button a couple of weeks ago. Talk about a sketchy signal, right? Yeah. Some of those oddball finds will definitely ring up a little bit different. And, that just makes it fun because you just never know. Thank you, Bells. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was really cool because this is a site that I had pounded. And again, to dig something. But I'm going to talk about what was actually going on yesterday in just a few minutes as well. Joe Dirt says, great fun. Guys, thank you so much, Joe Dirt. And thank you for everyone. Yeah, I love the Eagle. I appreciate that. Don't Tread on Me. And we really, really appreciate it. And we're moving on. So, again, those were just some of the finds that were shared. I think do I have one more? No, no. One thing I wanted to mention, I am an Amazon affiliate. If any of you are interested, and all that this does is support my channel as well, is I do have an Amazon affiliate store. If any of you are interested in purchasing anything at any time, and you are a constant Amazon affiliate or Amazon shopper, then check out my Amazon affiliate store. I've got metal detectors on there, everything that I use, but all those things are on there as well. So, if you check it out, I've got the link listed down. It's scrolling across the banner right now. And I would greatly appreciate it. Again, that goes to supporting the channel as well. So, maybe you don't give a super chat or super thanks, but you could also go and buy something that you need or something that you would use on the Amazon affiliate store. So there it is, in case anyone is interested. And that is it for that. So I'm gonna come back in here with you guys. Okay, so we've gone through our finds. Again, if you are interested in sending some of your finds to me to show on the live stream, would love to do that. It's SRANSC@gmail.com. And I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. So I know a lot of you are here for one thing, and that is a little bit about the XP Deus II. So let's look at that. XP Deus II in sensitive full tones and the 13-inch coil. So one thing that I think that I saw yesterday was that 13-inch coil. And I know I've said this on the live stream. That 13-inch coil is doing something really special. But we're going to get into the 13-inch coil in just a second. But also, I wanted to talk about sensitive full tones once again. So Sharpshooter put up a video a couple of days ago, or 3 or 4 days ago, talking about notching out 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that got me to thinking about that 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I know the majority of you would probably agree with me is that whenever you go into a site, especially a colonial site or a site that has tons and tons of old iron, the most common number that is going to pop up in your screen is usually going to be that 85 to 87 number, which usually means it's a colonial square nail or square nail of some sort. So that's been an issue. So I went out yesterday into a place that I've hunted, the lot, which you've heard me talk about, guys, in the last forever videos. But I went into the lot and I said, you know what? I'm going to try this. One thing that I found out was that the 7, 8, 9, or 10 really did not give me an advantage in that situation. Now, that's not to say that it won't in certain other situations. So I'm not shooting down what Sharpshooter's saying. I'm just saying that that 7, 8, 9, 10 notch didn't actually help me in a site where the iron was highly concentrated. So, and you guys can try it and see if it works for you. With all of the iron that I deal with in that site, I had an issue with it. And I still had the falsing. I still had some other things going on too. But the 7, 8, 9, 10 thing, Could work in the situation maybe that sharpshooter was showing it in his test, but I'm just not so sure it's going to work when you got a situation where you're dealing with tons of iron. And Lance just got on here and said that he tried it. And Lance is right. You're going to dig a lot of nails. So I'm not going to come on here and say I've got the magic potion for nails. So don't think that. I wish I could. I've been thinking about it a lot because you guys have me constantly thinking about it. And I'm trying to figure out a way to help us in those types of situations because I know most of you guys in here are relic hunters and you're looking for a solution to those colonial square head nails. So again, I'm looking just as hard as you guys are, and I'm hoping that I'm going to eventually find something that's going to help us a lot more. So what did I do the other day? So here's what I did when I dug that lock cover with the brass keeper on it, and I dug a button off of a site that has just been, I mean, humiliated, honestly, over the last 4 years. And to still dig a button off of it was amazing to me. But guys, I think sensitive full tones, one more time, sensitive full tones. But there's one other factor that I think that we haven't really talked that much about. And I really want your feedback on this. And as we go through the next couple of weeks, maybe we can get enough data, enough information to figure this thing out. The FETID setting, originally it was off in 1.0, but in the 1.1 version, the FETID setting is turned on. And Sharpshooter, when he was doing some of his testing, was running it off. So I'm not sure if that was causing him to have those 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. But what I am going to tell you is I ran it yesterday with it on, but I also added one more factor into this. I added the factor in of the 13-inch coil. So what is the 13-inch coil doing that is making me go back into a sight and still pull targets? And that's what I'm really trying to figure out. But what I am going to say is I believe, and this is just my own personal opinion, I believe that the 13-inch coil in that elliptical shape is doing something different from the concentric coils. What? I do not know. But the 13-inch coil running sensitive full tones, running a max frequency of 40, I was running my sensitivity at 93. I was running reactivity of 3. I was running the silencer of 1. I was running, and now this is the other key. I was running the audio on high square, which I've been talking about for a while. I was running the audio on high square. And then I also added in the audio filter, which I've been telling you guys about. I think that audio filter cleans up that signal. Now, what it's actually doing, I don't know, but I know that it makes the sound a lot better. So you guys, I think, need to try that and let me know what you're seeing, because I think that audio filter coupled with the high square, coupled with sensitive full tones, running it in full tones, running it in a silencer of 1, and using all of those things, max frequency of 40, has turned out to be a pretty good combination for relic hunting in heavy iron. Why? I don't know. I'm just telling you that yesterday I went into a site that I've been hunting for 4 years. Every machine has been over it. The Deus I, the Equinox, the Deus II, and now the Deus II set up in this configuration. And I found something yet again with the 13-inch coil. The elliptical shape, I think, has something to do with it. I don't know. I also think that the sound of the targets are a lot more purer. using the elliptical coil and the 13-inch elliptical coil. There's something about it. It just sounds better. It sounds better than the 11. It sounds better than the 9. At least to my ears, it does. So again, if you've got a 13-inch coil, I would love to see you guys go out and try that. And of course, I'm seeing some comments. Prospector's Cash says concentric coils shoot at a different electrical pattern than a DD elliptical coil. The DD is best for separation, concentric best for coverage. That is the theory. And Dave, Tom, I'm totally with you on that because I'm seeing something a little bit different. And I've been trying to say this for the last 3 or 4 months that I really believe that the 13-inch coil in that elliptical shape is really doing something special. And I saw it again yesterday. And again, this is the first time that I had hunted that site with the 13-inch using sensitive full tones and actually running it full tones and then running that setup that I just said. And it really, really, really sounds good. And the targets sound better running that high square with that audio filter set at 1. So if you haven't been running the audio filter set at 1, I think what it does, I think it just clears up that signal, clears up the audio on. But it's something that I think that you guys should try. And again, that's what I'm saying. NC Relic Hunter's agreeing with me. He says signal sounds stronger and more pronounced with the 13-inch. And I agree. I agree with him 100%. And Don't Tread on Me Metal Detector says, great now. I have to say for 13. Well, I'm telling you, I love the 13. In fact, I'm going out hunting on Sunday and I'm going to use the 13. That's going to be the first thing that I pull out of my bag is the 13-inch coil, and I'm going to town with it because I've seen what it can do on some beat up sites. And going back into those beat up sites with that 13-inch coil running these settings has proved to be very fruitful for me. And I think it will be very fruitful for you guys. And that's why I'm sharing this. And I'm not saying that the 9 and the 11 you won't find things with. I'm just saying that, again, it goes back to what I said last week and week before and the last 3 or 4 months. With sensitive full tones, you need to go back in and hunt with all 3 coils if you have. I mean, because it's just a really powerful program. It's great at unmasking. And you couple it with all the nice features and the new settings that they have in this last update. And I think what you're seeing is something really, really good happening from XP. So you got to try it. I'm just telling you guys, I think that it would do very, very well. Alabama Digger says a 9-inch elliptical HF Deus II coil could be amazing if they made it. Sure could, definitely. Says I need to go pick up a 13. Definitely. I'm telling you, if you do not have the 13 in your arsenal, I strongly recommend it. I strongly suggest it. It is a super fantastic coil, and the shape of it, I think, is doing something really, really special out there. Get That Treasure says change things up. It's always good for exploring a location. And he's exactly right. Changing things up, trying different settings, different programs, different frequencies, all of those things can lead to more finds. And like I keep saying, you got a machine that will do that. The Deus II will do that. And that's what is so super about the Deus II is that you do have all that variation and you got the diversity to change those settings up and lead to more finds. So again, guys, it is an amazing machine. Grandma Kelly says, I'm still just on basic factoring settings on the Xterra. Way too confusing, all the other stuff. Lots to learn. Grandma Kelly, I'm telling you right now, if you sit down and sort of watch and listen, if you follow my channel or some other guys that are doing XP Deus II videos or even on the Xterra, it's really not that hard. Even just running in the basic programs, you're going to find stuff regardless. And I know I'm talking mainly about the XP Deus II, but it applies to all machines. Just learn the machine, really, and get familiar with the settings and what that machine can do. And I think you're going to find that your finds are going to increase. The more you learn it, the better you get with it. And I know you've been doing this for a little while too. So I know you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of just learning the machine. Great Lakes says, I pulled a 1907 and a 1908 dime with the 13-inch coil in a public park under a tree that I've hit hard. Well, there you go. Great Lakes is exactly right. We're seeing this quite frequently. It's not just a one and done type thing. I think a lot of people are finding out that 13-inch coil is a special piece of equipment to have in your arsenal. So, yeah, David Moss says, have you tried with the general program in full tones? I have not, David. And that's something that Michael and I have been talking about. And if we get a chance, maybe this weekend, but I still think sensitive full tones gives you the best advantage for separation. And using you put the 13-inch coil with it, I think that just amplifies it 10 times. So definitely good. Sharpshooter's on here. Sharpshooter, we're talking about the 13-inch coil. We're talking about sensitive full tones. So, feel free to chime in. We did talk about the 7, 8, 9, 10 thing. A lot of people have been saying that they dug more nails using that notch. But again, we're basically hashing through a lot of that. So again, glad you're here, Sharpshooter. Glad to have you. Grandma Kelly says, I'm sure having fun just digging holes and finding things. That's it. That's all it's about. Right. Learn that machine and do the best you can. So very, very good. The Land Pirate, David Evers Jr. says, I've been on a couple of good group hunts with Dean Wethrow. And he says but I don't know what the last part of that is. LC Hunt says, I pulled two trifled spoon handles from late 1600s using the 13-inch coil from a side I have pounded with everything else over the years. It is a great coil. So there, yeah. So again, we're just seeing, yes, please smash that like button. I'm trying to share. And I promise you guys, nobody else on YouTube is doing what I'm doing. I'm sharing information with you, sharing with you things that you can take out and apply on in the field and things that I think everyone can use in here. So super glad to do it. Bells, I'm so glad you're here. Bells is awesome. I've met Bells at Dig Stock and super, super, super nice lady. And so glad she's in here with us. Sharpshooter gave us a donation of $2.22. So he's coming up in price. Sharpshooter, I'm glad to have you, buddy. Sharpshooter does not have one, but we've been trying to get him one for sure. So maybe he'll get a 13-inch coil real soon. If he's in here, if he's so glad to have you in here, buddy, we're talking about the 13-inch coil. We're talking about sensitive full tones with the XP Deus II. And I can tell you right now, I've been using that and it has been unmasking in the heaviest of iron, better than any program that I have ever used. And you couple that 13-inch coil in there with it, and that 13-inch coil is unmasking better than any large coil that I've ever seen. And that's one thing that we're talking about right now. But glad to have you, Iffy, as well. Super, super appreciate it. Prospectors Cash says, thanks, Brian. I love your channel. Great forum and community. Yes. And that's where we're at. And Tom, I appreciate you too, buddy. Thank you for your support as well. Make It Work says, hey, Iffy. Land Pirates, David Evers Jr. says, I've been on a couple of group hunts with David Renfro. He uses the larger coil and does great. Right. And I think it's just the shape of that coil. And if he's in here and Sharpshooter's in here, and both of those guys are testers too, they might can elaborate a little more on it. But the 13-inch elliptical coil coupled with sensitive full tones is really unmasking at a level I've never seen with a big coil. And it's doing great. And I've gone back into sites too that I have pounded over the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm pulling stuff out. And it could be because I've got more coverage. A step here, a step there could definitely lead to you missing a find, but it's a pounded site that many, many, many people have been over with me with different machines. And this setup is really working well. Bobby Short says 710 notch and sensitive full tones worked out great in my test garden. That's with an AC compressor going about 20 feet away. I had to lower the sensitivity to 77, but still hit an 11-inch dime. I will tell you this too, and NC Relic Hunter, has seen this using sensitive full tones. Sensitive full tones is a deep program. I mean, we've seen that. Sensitive full tones really hits deep targets. It's unbelievable what it can do. But remember, guys, and this is the other thing you guys need to keep in mind is that sensitive full tones is running the older filter. It's not running the 0.71. It's running the 1.0 filter. Well, not really the older filter, but the original filter that was on the update. And it is the only program that is running that filter. But it is helping us unmask some targets. And so, yes, Piedmont Artifact says, I'm going to try the 13-inch on Sunday. Yeah, the 13-inch, I'm telling you guys, if you haven't tried it or you know somebody that has one, go check it out. I'm telling you, the elliptical 13-inch coil, that 11 by 13 coil, has done amazing for me, running it with sensitive full tones. But one other factor, and like I said at the beginning, run that audio filter at 1 because on a deeper target, it's going to clear that target up with the audio. At least that's what I've seen. And I think you are going to see that as well. Iffy Signal says, I'm already a sensitive guy, so I stay in general so I don't overload. Iffy, you need to go try and get yourself in some of that iron up north and try the sensitive full tones program. Get that 13-inch coil out. Let me know what you think. If you need settings or anything else that I'm trying, then you definitely can do that. So, yes, David Moss says, I'm there with you. Yeah, yes. The offset, I did not mention the offset. I'm running the offset at 10 on my last hunt and worked extremely well. Now you can adjust that accordingly, and I think it will help. I love high square, but I know a lot of you like PWM. But if you like PWM, try it with PWM and see how you like it. I think high square with the audio filter implemented though will really make those targets stand out. And when the 13-inch gets over a target, it gets over a target, guys. And I'm not just saying that. It gets over a target and it locks on really good and it sounds really good. So again, try that. But if you want to use different audio, that's fine. If you want to mess with the offset, like Prospector's Cash is just saying, then you can try that too. The offset I run is 10. Sharpshooter has suggested 5. 5 sounds a little bit weird to me sometimes, but I like 10. If you want to go up a little bit more, then that's fine too. Whatever you think will work on your sites, because everybody's sites are different. But I'm just telling you what I am seeing on my sites with that 13-inch and sensitive full tones, that I'm seeing something really, really good. And again, the 13, I've never hunted with a big coil before like this coil and seen it unmasked the way that this coil unmasked, for sure. Lance says, I'm still in version 1.1. The 710 notch found me nails only. Would the 710 notch work better in version 2.0? And see, and that's something I've asked Sharpshooter about too. If but supposedly there's no real changes. So, I don't know. I don't know, Lance. That's a good question. And that's something too that maybe Sharpshooter can investigate, since he's got access to. I did not install 2.0. I'm still on 1.1 as well, as I'm hoping that the extreme is going to be coming my way. Prospector's Cash says he runs his offset at 12. Right. And that might work better for you, Tom, where you're at is running it in 12. I just found that 10 worked really good for me, and that's what I've stuck with. I haven't tried the offset any other way, up or down. Well, I have down. I have tried 5. 5 just sounded really weird to me versus 10. So I did like 10, and 10 tends to work really good for me. The offset, what does the offset do? The offset basically helps with those signals that come in that range and above, for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, 10 and above. If you drop down to 5, it's 5 and above, to sort of make those signals sound a little clearer, a little purer, as far as I know. So Sharpshooter says, Lance, no. Um, and Sharpshooter, like I said, 2.0 supposedly did not change anything as far as all the other programs. The only one that it really supposedly messed with was Goldfield. So I think that's where we're at on that. But I run the offset at 10, and that tends to work really good for me. And you guys can experiment, try the offset in different ways, and it would do. It might work really well for you on your side. Grandma Kelly's Clean Life, Clean Living. Lance is the goal not to find nails, but I'm so good at it, just playing with it. And we all dig a lot of nails. And I'm telling you, the site that I'm on, I could show you a video right now where I pulled out 7, 8 nails out of one hole on that site that I'm hunting. And it's just loaded with square nail after square nail. And really hard site, but sensitive full tones really does well on that site. And running it with the settings that I just mentioned. And I said I'm going to make a video, and I promise I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do it this weekend and sort of show you guys those settings and put those settings up for you. I did make a video last week using FAST. Basically, the FAST program is very similar to the sensitive full tones program that I use, but I will try to get one of those up for everyone real soon, showing the sensitive full tone settings and so on. Lance says, my goal is to know it's a nail before I dig. That's right. That's sure. Bobby Short says, I think 1.0 version will work well with 710 notch. That's what I have in my Deus II. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I'm just not so sure about the 710 notch. I've seen some people try it. 662 Outdoors tried it, dug a lot of nails with it. Same situation, a lot of nails, a lot of metal in the ground. I'm just not totally sold on it. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying it didn't work for me on the sites that I hunt. And so that would be something that you guys are going to have to decide. And Sharpshooter showed it in his test. It did work in the test that he's showing. But when you're dealing with tons and tons of those types of targets in the ground surrounding a target, then I don't know. I don't know. That's a little bit different. David Moss says offset brings up pitch of typically lower pitch signals. Example signal that reads 30 at 0 offset will sound lower. Right. So when I lowered my offset down to 5, the pitch sound changed dramatically. It makes the audio a lot clearer on some of those targets and gives it a different sound, if that makes sense. And Sharpshooter's right. Make It Work says, what's your silencer setting in full tones? 3. No, I run the silencer at 1, and that tends to be the best setting for me. Now, 1 and 2 is probably where I run it the most, but I would say that once you go above 2, it definitely changes the machine, and I think it takes away from the unmasking capability. I could be wrong on that, but from what I've seen, I really don't like running it above 2. 1, 2, or even 0, but 1 and 2 is probably the two that I would use the most, is 1 and 2 for sure. Grandma's Kelly said 34 out of one hole is my record. 34 nails out of one hole. Wow, that's a lot for sure. Grandma Kelly says, Lance, I assume it's a nail, then I'm surprised when it's something else. There you go. I like that. Lance says, notching 10 through 50 and 86 and 87 is what I'm having the best luck with. Now, I will say this, and I didn't tell you guys this first off. When Sharpshooter started showing the 7, 6, 8, 9, 10 notch, I decided that I was going to try to notch out those nails. And so what I did was I notched out on this hunt that I did yesterday, I notched out 85, 86, and 87. But the problem with that is, what if you get a signal that is really truly an 85, 86, 87? But what I'm thinking is that it will maybe cause some of those targets to up average in sensitive full tones if the max frequency is set at 40. And I know I might be talking Japanese to some people in here, but I was hoping that it would up average, but I never got a target above those numbers that I notched out. So I'm not real sure that that works. And that's why I haven't really said, hey, try that, because I don't really know at this point. But I did notch out 85, 86, 87, and I just tried it just to see. And I did dig a couple of really nice targets on a beat up site, but I didn't get a target above 87 that rang up, that I would have dug. So again, I'm not real sure on that philosophy. Don't tread on me says last week I just tried the fast program and high square pitch tones with notch and I liked it. Right, and that's what I've that's what I've been saying all along. I've been preaching this since that update came out. In fact, I went back and looked. When was the first time I actually started talking about this? And that was back at the beginning of July. So, yeah, I've been on the high square, and I love fast, and I love high square, and I love the notch. I love all that stuff. But yeah, those settings are pretty. They're pretty good. They're pretty slick. I like it a lot. Prospector's Cache says offset full tones allows the user to shift the full tone audio frequencies off the targets with a signature just above the discrimination threshold in order to better differentiate them audibly from iron, which is what we just said. So, without using the big words, Prospector's Cache. So, yeah, it makes the audio sound better, which is why you use it for sure. But thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that, Tom, so much. Lance McElwain says it will up average in my test bed. So you did try the offset, and I think I mentioned that last week that I was going to try it, but I haven't gotten over a target that basically did up average above the nail signal, which was that 85 to 87 or 88 number. So, but Lance is saying that it's working in his test garden, but there's still a lot more testing to be done with that, and I'm going to keep after it. I might even try it again this weekend on the sites that Michael and I are going to, but we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys posted for sure. Iffy Signal says definitely fun for silver hunting, Lance. It is definitely. You start notching out. Yeah, I've gone all the way up to 88, 89 and notched out, and just love, going in trying to find silver. Really makes it a lot of fun. Bobby Short says I find deeper nickels up average up about 10 points. Okay. So Bobby, was that notching out 85 through 87? That's my question. New England Land and Sea says, hey, okay, a little late to the party, but what's everybody talking about with the notch? We're talking about notch with the XP Deus II and notching out 7, 8, 9, and 10, or maybe possibly notching out 85, 86, 87 on these heavily loaded iron sights and seeing if it will up average those mass targets above that 87 range if you notch them out. Not real sure if that's going to work. There's still a lot more to be done for sure. Bobby Short says no notch at all. Right. But there is something to the notch. What's the secret sauce? I can't tell you right now because I don't know. But I'm going to keep trying till I figure it out. But 85, 86, 87. So if you guys want to run the settings that I just said and notch out 85, 86, 87 in a heavily loaded iron sight, I'm not saying do it on your regular sights. I'm saying do it on a heavily loaded iron sight with a lot of nails. Try it and just let me know what happens with it. I would appreciate any information, any data on that, as sometimes I'm hopefully going to hunt this weekend, but some of you get out a little more than I do sometimes, and it just makes it really, really helpful to already have some of that information in hand. So I appreciate you guys so much. New England Land and Sea says, okay, right now I'm running the 2.0. I've been mainly doing Goldfield for relic hunting and old colonial sites here in Massachusetts, and it's been killer. Yeah, and I've heard that. I've tried Goldfield. Now, maybe I haven't given enough due or enough credence, but I would love to maybe work and experiment with Goldfield and Relic mode. I know those programs are really good, but I just have not found that it unmasks better than sensitive full tones. And so that's why I'm a little bit apprehensive of those two programs, but I'm not saying that there's not a use for them in a relic site. And that's something that I really need to investigate. And maybe with Sharpshooter on here, he might want to investigate as well. Lance McElwain says it doesn't up average on clean targets in my test bed, but when iron is introduced, then it up averages. So, Lance, is that with sensitive full tones and running in full tones? That's my next question. Prospector's Cash says, I don't think it's really up averaging. I think what is happening is the high conductor target gets a boost from the low conductor target, which changes the target ID. And you're probably right, Tom, which is probably what is going on at this point. Sharpshooter says, Bobby Short, modern trash, select digging, no notch, big no no. You could go right by a high conductor coin relic, right? And that's in modern trash with no notch. And that's what Sharpshooter's trying to say there, Bobby. But um, there's something to notch. I just, like I said, I'm still playing around with some of the different ways to notch and seeing what's going to work best. But again, Sharpshooter's right when it comes to the notch. Just knowing that nickels will do that in my soil is good enough to dig. Right. Well, hey, if it's working, again, don't fix it. That's the old saying for sure. Prospector's Cash says, in other words, if you set the notch higher and there were no trash targets, it would read the same. Okay. Well, again, it like you just said earlier, I don't think it's maybe not up averaging, but what I've seen though, Tom, is that when you have a button which would ring up lower than the notch, and it takes that button up into 90 or 91, I don't know. Is it just getting a boost because of the nail, which is what you were saying, and that could be it. You know, it's getting a boost because of the nail. I'm not real sure. Sharpshooter says Lance foam test reflects the up averaging nickel with iron. Okay, so Sharpshooter's saying that too as well. New England Landon C says Goldfield Spanx Relic hands down. I did a side by side comparison on a Target. Relic sounded irony. Goldfield sounded like a colonial button pulled the plug. It was a colonial button pewter. Well, there you go. And again, I have not played around with Goldfield. My site, my plantation site that I hunt quite frequently, is loaded with square nails, and Goldfield just, I don't know, it just did not work well in that situation. And I don't know what your situation is, New England Land and Sea, but I'm still playing. I will still try to play around with Goldfield and just see what happens with it because you're saying it works really good for you. And maybe there's something I'm missing. I'm not real sure, but I'll definitely give it a try. I'm not immune to trying something else for sure. So definitely. So much to think about. I love sensitive full tones. Is it the same in 2.0 as it is in 1.0? It's supposed to be. Don't tread on me. So, why wouldn't you use it? I think it is the same. I mean, that's what we were told. So, yeah, go give it a shot. If you have not used sensitive full tones, you're missing out because, especially if you're hunting in a lot of heavily loaded iron sights with nails, colonial square nails, definitely. And again, my sights are really loaded with these types of nails. Lance McElwain says there is some witchcraft to this notch that we have. That's right. And that's why we're all on here right now. I'm trying to give suggestions to work with the sensitive full tones. I still think using the 13-inch coil is doing something special with sensitive full tones as well. So again, 13-inch coil. Go over to my Amazon affiliate site and buy one because I'm telling you, it works unbelievable. Love the 13-inch coil. David Moss says, New England, that is interesting. I need to try it. You're right. So again, I don't know everything about every program. And Sharpshooter has shown Goldfield too as well. And there's some good things about that program. Now that they've changed it with 2.0, could that help in an iron sight? That's a good question. And that was something too that I did bring up with sharpshooter for sure. Bobby Short says tea and sharpshooter and older sites, no modern trash. It's a dig, right? And Bobby, that's right. I would do it too. David Moss says, New England, would you share your settings? Yeah, we'd love to see your settings for sure. Don't Tread on Me says, I use it almost exclusively, but that Goldfield with 2.0 sure sounds hot. Right, right. Goldfield, again, with the 2.0 update, supposedly is a little more sensitive to smaller targets. So maybe for us that are relic hunters, looking for some of those small pieces of maybe small pieces of gold, small pieces of silver, small buttons. Um, that might be a good thing. I haven't played around with it enough, and I'll be honest about that. I'm not going to say I know about Goldfield because I don't. I'm mainly sensitive full tones, fast. I use general and deep high conductor, but those have been my four go-to programs, and I've mainly been focused on sensitive full tones and a fast program because both of those have done extremely well for me. Hi, Fred says, how does audio filter work with audio offset in full tones? WS6 Master. The audio filter will make the deeper targets sound clearer. Hi, Fred. And I've seen that running that audio filter at least one. I would not. Well, you might could get away with two, but I think one is the magic number for me on my beaches and on my sites. I think it helps running it at one and try it. Like I said, there's no harm or no foul. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But try it with the audio filter running at one and run high square, high Fred, and see how it goes. New England says crank the IAR all the way up, and I tried that the other day. In fact, whenever I was playing around with it, and it did seem like it worked okay, running it with the IAR jacked all the way up on those heavily loaded iron sights. That's the trick, or at least that's what's working for him. So, New England saying try that. So you guys that want to try Goldfield and you want to try the IAR jacked all the way up, I think it goes all the way up to 5 or 6. Is that correct, New England? You can fill me in on that since you've been using it. T and Sharpshooter says, Fred, don't run audio filter higher than one on land hunting. Salt Beach, you can use any setting. Right. And I run it at one. And that's where I found the most success is running that audio filter at one. Cleans up those deep targets, makes those deeper targets sound really pure. LC Hunt says that Goldfield is hot and deep, but I agree with New England. I need the high IAR to keep my sanity for sure, because that thing will drive you bananas unless you jack it up for sure. So LC Hunt and New England are definitely right on that as well. So one more time, sensitive full tones. If you are not using it on your relic hunts and on these highly loaded iron sites, you definitely want to make sure that you're implementing that program. What are my settings? I'm gonna go through them one more time. Sensitive full tones. I'm running 6.8 discrimination. I'm running my sensitivity right around 93. Of course, that's side adjustable. I'm running the audio filter on one. I'm running audio on high square. I'm running an offset of 10. I'm running the max frequency of 40, which you could drop to 24 if you think that's going to work better for you. But that's silencer at one. But that's pretty much the settings that I'm using. And I'm using the 13-inch coil on some of my relic sites. That elliptical coil, again, I think the shape of it is definitely changing some of these targets and giving you a cleaner, purer sound. They sound really good when you get over a good target. So if you haven't done that, then you definitely want to try the 13-inch wood sensitive full tones. And I think that's really good. You're welcome, Fred. We're glad we can help. Lance says, I was going to get the 13-inch coil, but I got an entire Legend with 2 coils for cheaper. That's right. That's true, Lance. You're exactly right. You can find a Lance, I'll tell you, and this is what Michael did. Michael went online and he found a used one and got a really good deal on it. So you might want to look around for a used one, maybe one that somebody's getting rid of because Michael got a really good deal on his. NC Relic Hunter did, looking for a used one. And that 13-inch coil, I'm telling you, Lance, you'll love it if you try it. So definitely, for sure. What's up, Finders Keepers? Glad to have you in the house. And I know we've talked a bunch of stuff. The final thing, and I know we're a little bit over. The final thing I wanted to talk about is there anybody in here that has signed up for the Nocta AcuPoint beta testing for the pinpointer? I'm just curious as to find out if anybody did get in on that program and if you did get a AcuPoint pinpointer shipped to you. So maybe you guys can answer that question. And what do you think of the AcuPoint? I mean, that's something that's coming out. Are you game for the new pinpointer? Are you not? Do you think it's just hoodoo voodoo? I guess I don't know, but looks like a really nice pinpointer. I'm just curious to know if anybody was able to get in on that program. New England says, "Oh, and notch 00. No idea why you need to, but you just need to." Okay, there you go. There it goes from New England. Appreciate it. Yeah, that pinpointer does look really cool, and it's got a colorized screen. It's got all sorts of sensitivity levels, different types of tones. You can tell between ferrous and non-ferrous, and all those types of things. So, I'm not real sure about the way that they're releasing this. I'm not real sure about it, and just curious if anybody got one, and if you are planning on, you know, going forward with it, with the testing and so on. Bobby Short says, I think the notch seems to damper down the averaging with the commingled targets. And you could be right, Bobby, for sure. So Grandma Kelly says on Canucks channel, a couple of people had gotten the Nocta AcuPoint pinpointer and they're testing it out. So that will be interesting. The Land Pirates, David Evers said he missed it by a few minutes. Don't Tread on Me says if it really does discriminate, could be a game changer. And it could be, this could be, it looks really nice. And the features that it has on it are really, really nice. So I'm really interested. If anybody gets one, love to hear your feedback on it. Share it with me. I'd love to be able to share it on the channel as well. So Finders Keeper says not the macro makes stout equipment for sure. They do. Their stuff is pretty good. Heavy Metal Detector says hello. We did get in on the program and awaiting the shipment. Thank you for being on here. Heavy Metal Detectors. Also, he's coming to us on Facebook. Some of you may not be able to see his comment, but he just said that they did get in on the not testing for the AcuPoint. So Heavy Metal Detectors, I'd love for you to share some of your feedback with us. Let us know what you're seeing with that AcuPoint. That would be really great and really appreciated. He says he's really looking forward to testing it. It will be a game changer to the pinpointer development in the future. Sure, all it takes is a little bit of innovation, a little forward thinking to make some of these things go. And it looks like Nocta's on the right track when it comes to that. Grandma Kelly says, nice, heavy. Thanks for sharing that as well. So, again, we've gone through a lot. We shared a lot of information tonight. And again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully, you got something from this. Try these settings. Let me know what's going on. If you want to shoot me an email and just let me know some of the things you're seeing, you can always shoot me an email at srансc@gmail.com. If you got some great finds that you guys want to share with me, and I'll be glad to share them on the next live stream, I will more than happily do that for you to get those things out there and give you some kudos and some props for finding some of these great finds that many of you find. So I would love to share those finds with you guys and with everyone on the live stream. So again, check out my channel. If you are new here, please, please, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, follow my channel. We've got more information coming. Of course, most of you know I am a real history teacher and I'm also a coach. And so, you know, I'm not doing a ton of detecting at this moment, but as soon as my coaching responsibilities sort of loosen up, I look forward to bringing you a bunch of hunts in the near future. You can check out my channel. You can see I've been using multiple machines. I love to relic hunt. That's my main thing. But I do go out on the beach and do some treasure hunting every now and then too. I live close to the beach. I'm only a mile away from the beach. So again, check my channel out. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you are on any of those other platforms, please go over there and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Share the channel, share the live stream because we try to get on here every Friday night, 7:30, share information. Everyone on here is extremely knowledgeable, and we bring, I feel like, some of the best information on YouTube, and we try to bring you information that you can take out to the field and use with your Deus II and with other metal detectors as well. Of course, most of it is centered on XP, but we do some other channels as well and try to share some of that information as well. So again, thank you, Bells, for being a great support of the channel. Grandma Kelly, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you being in here. And again, Heavy Metal Detectors, we're streaming you on Heavy Metal Detectors Viewer Choice as well as our product podcast page. Thank you so much, Heavy Metal Detectors. I appreciate that. And we're all about metal detecting, all about sharing content, information, and getting the most information out there to the people that are out there. Land Pirates, you're not going to believe if I tell you, I am actually a cross-country coach, and I've never revealed that on here, but at one time, believe it or not, this guy was a pretty good college cross country runner back in the day. So I've been coaching cross country for 25 years and done pretty well at it too. So I enjoy that sport. I enjoy working with kids, and it's a great sport. Tony Maston says, "Great show, Teach. Enjoyed it." Thank you so much, Tony. You're always awesome on here, and we appreciate your support. Joe Dirt says, "Last chance to hit that like." And again, hopefully all of you go away with something tonight that you can take back maybe this weekend on out in the field. Use those settings, try some of those programs, try some of the things we talked about, and I think you guys will have success. I really do. And get a 13-inch coil if you haven't already. I love the 13-inch, and I think it will help you guys out. As well. Bobby Short says, "I live in a metal detecting wonderland." That's it. I'm moving to South Carolina. I love South Carolina. South Carolina is loaded with history, and I taught South Carolina history, so I know a lot. And I love where I live. I'm just honest. I really do. Thank you, Land Pirates. Appreciate it. David Moss says, "Get out there and dig. Let's dig some relics." Yeah, let's see some relics. Send me some relics. Make it work says, "Thanks." All right, guys. I'm out of here for tonight. So fun being with you guys, being back in our Friday night slot, sharing information. Again, I hope all of you have a fantastic and wonderful weekend. Go out there and find us something great. Make the most of your opportunities out there. Try some of these things that we said tonight. See if they help. If they don't help, then let me know, or if they do help, let me know that too. So I would greatly appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Take care, and I will catch you guys real soon on your next adventure and on my next adventure. So take care. Have a great and wonderful weekend. We will see you soon. Take care, guys.